Joining me now is one of the biggest gainers of this big reshuffle, Kamal Nath, Congress party veteran. He continues as urban development minister, but he gets the big charge of Union Minister for Parliamentary Affairs. Mr. Kamal Nath, now that's quite a big charge. I'd say that's a super critical charge. Is it because, you are, aren't you, the longest serving member of parliament that the Congress party has in the Lok Sabha?
Yes, I am. I've been in Parliament for 32 years, and in the whole of Parliament, I'm one of the longest serving members. In the Congress party, yes, I am. So I've seen a lot happening on the floor of the House, within the precincts of Parliament House.
Various profiles today said very experienced veteran parliamentarian. Some people said a super political networker, and you yourself said that political parties need to be less combative and need to work together. Now, it's not just Kamal Nath saying this which is going to change things.
Well, I think that is, we must remember that the parliamentary process lies at the heart of democracy, and anything which negates or which creates problems in the parliamentary process affects democracy. And the parliamentary process is not a question of majority. We've had over 400 seats in Parliament. I've seen that Parliament. I've seen a Parliament of I've been in government and in Parliament with Mr. Narasimha Rao. I've seen so much where we didn't have majorities, but there has to be a great effort on consensus building, and consensus building is, I think, very important in a parliamentary
But that effort has already been there, hasn't it, Mr. Kamal Nath? I mean, surely your predecessor, Mr. Pawan Kumar Bansal, also made his attempt at consensus building. But what happened eventually? 15 bills were introduced. Only 15 bills were supposed to be passed. 6 were introduced. 30 bills were listed for consideration and passing. I'm only talking about the last session of Parliament. 4 were passed. 3 were passed in the Lok Sabha. The statistics are very, very, very bad.
Well, that is what I'm going to attempt to change. That what has happened in the last 1 year, where the combativeness of politics has come to the floor of the House. We had the NDA government, and they got so much of legislation passed with our support, even though we were not in 100% agreement. We recognize that bills and government business is not a party's issue, is not a party's agenda, but is for the nation. So I don't believe
why should
that
they give you any
political
space?
Parties are not responsible.
Why should they give you any space?
Well, because as long as we are able to make them comprehend that what is the need for this, what's the necessity for it, what's the good in it, and that this is for the country. It's not a question of political space. Opposition should not oppose for the sake of opposing. Then you can't do anything. And we have coalitions in Germany, you have coalitions in France, you have coalitions in Italy, in democracies. You see in the US Congress and Senate, you may have a Republican president and a Democratic Senate, and the House of Representatives maybe with
but positions,
the Republicans or the Democrats.
Positions are very hard. Some people, political parties may get along with Kamal Nath, the individual, but let's take an issue like FDI in retail or price hike. Specifically FDI in retail. You know that they will corner you on FDI in retail, and the BJP will use it to its maximum.
Well, the simple thing in FDI and retail is there are 2 issues which I'm going to try and make them understand. A, any state which does not want it need not have it. It's not being thrust upon the states. This is a policy to enable the states to avail of FDI. The second important thing is, it's not FDI, it's big versus small. Now, as long as there is space in the country, in the organized retail sector, there is going to be always a question of big versus small. If you don't have FDI coming in, well, somebody domestically, a large business house in India can go into large domestic retail.
Sure, they can. But these are known facts. Stop them. But these are known facts. These are known facts. These are positions previous ministers have taken. It's not worked.
No. Well, it's going to be my effort to make them comprehend this better. And, it's really a question of engagement. It's just not getting a bill passed. You discuss the bill. You discuss the bill with political parties. Sometimes they've had very good suggestions. I've seen this over 32 years. that they come up with. When we were in the opposition, we gave suggestions. We used to get accommodated. When we were in government, we are willing to listen to
are
any
you saying there hasn't been
the
kind of engagement that there could have been, so far?
Well, Arnab, I'm looking at renewed engagement, and I don't want to say that what happened or what did not happen. I'm not going to look back. I'm looking forward. So I'm talking about renewed engagement with political parties, because political parties have told me, informally have told me, you should talk to us, you must do this. I have talked to political parties between yesterday and today, and of course we will continue this engagement. So we need a more intensive engagement, a more comprehensive engagement with all political parties who are responsible political parties. So I don't see that people are going to oppose for the sake of opposing. If substantively they are on board, then I think, I believe, as responsible political parties, they are not going to oppose. So I'm looking forward to a session which is constructive, which gets about doing its business, that we can have debates, and this is the big difference between Parliament now and Parliament 32 years ago.
You know that if Mayawati pulls out, if Mayawati pulls out, your Parliament session depends on whom more? On Mayawati or Mulayam, or both?
It's not who pulls out. I don't think we should say these ifs and buts. We shouldn't go into that. We should go on that the government is functioning, the government has its term, it has its tenure, and we must do everything to make it run. So I'm not looking at with a pessimistic premise, or a premise that we are under threat. We are not under any threat. Because I don't believe political parties are going to be acting in any way which is detrimental to
Mr. Kamal Nath, lawyers are often very confrontational. And there are a lot of lawyers in the Congress party. There has been a lot of confrontation also in Parliament. You're not a lawyer. Do you think that is your advantage?
Yeah. Well, I'm not a lawyer, fortunately or unfortunately, but I am a politician. I understand the sense and the sentiments of other political leaders, and respecting them, I will get on with my work.
Kamal Nath, now this is a key assignment. I don't want to say it as directly, but it's an assignment that Pranab Mukherjee had done best unofficially before he was elevated to Rashtrapati Bhavan. You have a big responsibility, and I wish you all the very best. Kamal Nath, the longest serving Congress member of Parliament, currently what? It's your 8th term or 9th term? 8th term.
Well, it's 32 long years. Don't remind me of how old I am.
Well, Kamal Nath, XX years young. Thank you very much, and all the very best. Thank you.